dedicated to the great outdoors. It's Southern Woods and Waters with Hugh McNaughton. Southern Woods and Waters is brought to you by Gander Mountain, Greenform Construction, the Burns Insurance Group, Cunningham Buick GMC, Nashville Marine, America's Motorsports. And now, here's Hugh.
All right, welcome everyone to this Thursday night's edition of Southern Woods and Waters, and we've got a great show lined up for you tonight. We have with us tonight two great young men that are probably some of the best bass fishermen you've ever known in your life. Bar none, I'm telling you, these guys are good. I am so glad to see what's going on with the nation, the schools, collegiate, high school. But tonight we're talking collegiate bass fishing. Let's widen out and introduce our guest to you tonight. I have with me Elliot Lee with Tennessee Tech. Elliot, glad to have you here, buddy.
Good to be here.
All right, now you're with Tennessee Tech. Now
Yes, sir.
everybody's got to know Tanner. I mean, Tanner and I, we've been doing shows together, but Tanner Hale also is on the show with us tonight. He does the pink fishing and also for MTSU. So, you know, that's right in our own backyard right here in Murfreesboro. So we appreciate Tanner anytime he could be on. And Tanner, you've been working a lot more than you've been fishing, really. So they've been keeping you busy in the construction.
Keeping me busy.
But you're finally getting some opportunities to get to go fishing, and you're telling me Barkley's on fire right now.
Barkley is definitely doing a lot better than Old Hickory and Percy Priest around here.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Now, Saturday or this weekend, guys, you're going down practicing.
I'll be practicing at Chickamauga
At
for
Chickamauga.
the FLW. It's coming up September 24th. So
Okay, so that's the next weekend.
that's the next weekend.
That's on the day of deer season.
I know. I don't know why FLW would.
Why
put it
do
on the
they
same
do
day.
that?
I have no idea. I know a lot of people on our team will be missing out on that one for that reason. So
I tell you, I love deer hunting, but I still like the bass
exactly, you
fishing.
can't beat some FLW tournaments. I can tell you that much.
No. Now, what have you got coming up, Tanner?
Actually, me and my partner will be at Paris Landing this weekend for the last ABA Dodge Ram Team Trail.
That's right.
So I know there's a lot of guys around here that'll be going down there. Mr. Genevico, he'll be down there.
Well, you think David will be there?
Oh, I know he'll be there. So he'll be there.
David's always a good one to gun for, isn't he? I'll tell you.
Definitely biggest competitor probably out there every tournament. So.
And he's one of our fine sponsors. We think the world of David, and we wish all of y'all good luck. I hope one of you comes in first, one of you comes in second. And I'm not going to say which one's which. I'll keep it safe. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about collegiate bass fishing a little bit, and what Tennessee, along with Kentucky and some of the other states are doing, some of the other states are following. Not only do we have collegiate bass fishing, but we have high school bass fishing. Now, Tanner, you and I have talked. You weren't given the opportunity to fish in high school for a high school team. Now, were you?
I was not. I was busy with football and baseball. So
Okay.
I just fished on the week, fished local tournaments on Old Hickory when I could and stuff. But they didn't even offer it at my school, and they still don't have it at my high school now. But the local.
Now, where did you?
I went to Mount Juliet Christian
Mount
Academy.
Juliet Christian Academy.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, there is some talk of some of these teams, like Smyrna High School's got one. Grundy County High School.
Grundy
Smyrna.
County's really good.
Grundy County's got
Yes.
a really good high school bass fishing team. But you guys got in on the collegiate level. And Tanner, you and I have talked, it wasn't that hard to get in. It's just hard to stay with it. With the studies that you goes on and all that, you got to maintain your averages and your points and all that. So when you're talking to others that are just now getting into it, what would you give? What bit of advice would you might give them?
Probably my biggest advice, you know, the spring semesters it's a lot more busy and jam packed, like as far as schedule wise goes. You know, the FLW, and then you have the collegiate bass that Cabela's puts on, and even Bassmaster. You know, they have their college series. Bassmaster, there's usually just one tournament, depending on your region, and that's it. FLW, they'll have 3. The collegiate bass is probably the most popular of any of them. It has the best showing at all the tournaments. They travel around just the southeast, but there's schools that come from the west coast way up north. You know, there's nothing to have schools from 13, 14 hours away at tournaments. My biggest advice is, you know, I would kind of get your feet wet like in the fall. There's a lot of little, you know, usually there's little invitation tournaments around between like the areas. You know, there's actually a UTC bass fishing league that, you know, like MTSU, Tennessee Tech, you know, schools like that, they just compete in, you know, just kind of amongst ourselves in the fall. It's kind of just like, you know, more so of exhibition stuff. You know, there are for, you know, those tournaments, you know, we are fishing for prizes and stuff, but as far as like, you know, your school of the year points and everything that everybody chases after, a lot of that stuff doesn't really get going full swing until the spring. So definitely the spring is what I would quote unquote call more of in season, and that's where you're trying to qualify for your national championships and different events like that. So I guess, you know, it is different. A lot of people, you know, they've kind of grew up their whole life more so fishing, you know, your local tournaments just around, you know, in your backyard and stuff. It's a little bit different, kind of getting accustomed, you know, to driving, you know, 5, 6, 7 hours, depending on how far away you're going, and, you know, trying to put in that time to, you know, figure out how to catch some fish. And then, you might have 2 or 3 tests that week going on at school. So to try to juggle all figure all that stuff out, you know, I definitely think for me what helped is, you know, I was fortunate enough to play football in school my first couple years in college, so I've kind of always had to balance that aspect of, you know, school and, you know, what sport and stuff I was going on at the time. So it definitely is something that, you know, time management is definitely critical to be able to, you know, excel in both areas.
All right. Well, now, Ellen, I got a question for you. Is it a rivalry ship? I mean, much like Alabama plays Tennessee, is it kind of get that way at these things?
I would say so. I mean, we just, you know, me and him, we fished. He fished for MTSU, I fished for Tech, so we all kind of talk a little smack about each other.
Is there some smack talking?
But there's a lot of, I mean, you always, you know, you stay in the hotels together and you get to know it. It's a great way to meet people from other schools,
right?
You know, that you wouldn't meet otherwise. So
there's still that camaraderie.
Right, there's still that camaraderie. I mean, we're all in the same sport. We're all enjoying the same thing.
So you put your Tennessee Tech placard above the door of the hotel room as you go out.
You got to have the flag on the back. Exactly. You got to have that big purple and gold flag on the back of your truck. That's it. So there's definitely a little bit of rivalry, but there's a lot of camaraderie too. So
what do you think? I mean, you know, we talk about Nemesis, and you did too, Tanner, talk about David being like a nemesis of it. But in the collegiate world, who do you think is the main stick or nemesis for you guys to go up against?
I would say Bethel. I think Bethel, just as far as the school, I would say Bethel just because they were the first to kind of come out with the program and come out with scholarships and everything. So everybody's gunning for the big dogs. You know, even if they don't finish first in the school of the year points, everybody just kind of has them on the mindset every year. You know, if we beat Bethel, we're doing something right. If we finish ahead of Bethel, we're doing something right. So I'd say that's kind of the nemesis out there.
That's
every
the
school.
one you got to go for.
I would say so. That's at least at our school. That's our goal. If we can finish ahead of Bethel, we're doing something right this year. So
let me ask you this. Now Bethel's being coached by Gary Mason. You know, is a great guide in his own right. He's guided for years, and he does know quite a few things about bass fishing. I'll promise you. Do you find that in colleges that the coaches are really important?
I think it depends from school to school. As far as us, we look at ours as more of like an advisor to send out missing classes letters and that kind of thing. He doesn't really give us much coaching as much as maybe somebody from Bethel might. But
well, do you think that that's kind of a degree that?
I think it's pretty important. I do too. I would say so because a lot. I mean, like he was saying, you're traveling around to a lot of, because I grew up on Old Hickory and Priest, and in high school I'd go to, you know, Kentucky Lake for the weekend or something, but you're not there every weekend like you are Old Hickory or Priest. And then these bass tournaments, we went this year to the James River in Virginia. I've never been there in my life, so I think, you know, having those connections that your coach might have to other people in the industry and knowing people that can get you some help and some information somewhere that you may only have a day or two to practice on a brand new body of water because you got school stuff to take care of, which is it's hard to narrow down a pattern on a new lake in one day.
Well, we're going to get a little bit more in depth because I know a lot of you out there are watching the show. You may have somebody in college, you may have somebody that's fixing to go into college at the end of this year. These are things that you can consider. But first, I wanted to show you our deal of the week. This week's deal of the week is, hey, let me show you this. This is a Bay 18 DLX with a 115 show on there, which is a nice Yamaha, but that is a really nice boat. And you know what? A lot of guys are going to this if you enjoy catfishing, striper fishing, any of the big fish on big water. This is the way to go. Center console. You feel a little bit more at ease, taking some rougher water, but you can see it right here in our own backyard. It's at Nashville Marine, located over there by Four Corners Boat Dock, there on Percy Priest Lake. Go by and tell David McMurray or Eddie Robinson you saw it right here on Southern Woods and Waters. And by the way, we want you to also go to our Facebook page, Southern Woods and Waters. Like us, share us, post whatever you want to, comments, questions. We'd love to hear from you. Check us out on our Facebook, Southern Woods and Waters. We'll be right back with more of Southern Woods and Waters. See you in a minute.